I'm always dancing when I'm working out. The weight loss is not only nutrition and training, it's a mindset too. You're always learning new things. Now I do have my own recipes. I have more muscle. Yeah, I can lift those weights. Why starve yourself? And you can eat a lot of plants and good protein and you lose the weight. You just have to rethink, you have to rewire your brain that I never want to go back there and I will never.
This always bends my mind a little bit. Did you know that 61.9% of those of you who listen to the show regularly haven't subscribed to the show? So if I could ask you a big favor before we start, if you like the show and you like what we do here and you want to support us, the free simple way that you can do that is simply by hitting the subscribe button below. As we don't run ads on the podcast to provide the best uninterrupted experience possible, and my commitment to you is that if you subscribe, that I'll do everything in my power, my team and I, to ensure that this show is better for you every single week. And we will continue to listen to your feedback. We will find the guests that you want me to speak to and continue to do what we do. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Today, we have a very special episode for you. If you're watching on YouTube, we are recording in person in my childhood home in Canada with my incredible mom. Mom, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is our first in-person podcast that we do since I've done the podcast, because we've done on Zoom because I was traveling somewhere at that point.
Yeah, you're always everywhere.
Traveling, yeah. So today we're going to do like a catching up, a recap, because I know that your transformation has inspired a lot of people throughout the years of being in the program. And so, yeah, let's just kind of go like, we'll end up being with where you're at now, how you're handling life now, how you're able to stay in shape now and not go back to all the way up to where you were before. But for the people that are newer, that don't know about your transformation, where were you before starting the program? Like, what was your weight? And like, you can kind of share why you got up to that weight, because the injury and all that stuff. So I'll let you kind of share your initial story of where you were, how you were feeling before you started.
Okay, so before I started, I'm 59 years old, well, or young, like you might say.
Yeah.
And I went to the gym with my husband, and I was able to lose some weight. I was 160 pounds, and I was happy about it. And then I injured my foot. So I was stuck, couldn't walk, and gained all the weight back. And when I started the program with Maxim, I was at 183.5. The first time I saw the picture, I said, wow. Because you see yourself in the mirror, but when you see it in the picture, it's totally different.
Yeah, different angle that you get to see yourself.
Exactly. So when you proposed to me to do the program, I said, well, yes, let's try it. So I did everything you told me to do, the nutrition, the trainings, and slowly but surely the weight came off. I did the first 6 months of losing weight. I did a little bit of reverse dieting. And then I did again lose weight for 2-3 months maybe.
Yeah.
Reverse dieting again, and I lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Really happy about it.
Well, let's talk about let's sound the before a little bit. So since when I was growing up, I remember your weight was like in the 180s, like early
Probably,
180s.
yeah.
And my goal was to be like as heavy as you, because I was trying to bulk up and put on some muscle. And I remember that was kind of roughly your weight for a long time, because that was my goal for a long time, was to be able to like weigh as much as you, and then it was to weigh as much as Dad, which I did at one point later on, right?
Yeah.
I was climbing up the ladder in weight. And I have seen you do some, I think it was like the Maker's Diet. Is that the one with the containers?
Yeah.
That was the Maker's Diet. So I've seen you do like the Maker's Diet. I think you do like Atkins at one point, or some form of like low carb.
Yeah, low carb, yes.
Low carb diet.
Yeah. Or like the soup one that you eat soup, I think, for 3 days, and you eat crackers.
I do remember that one.
Really not fun.
So what was your mindset going through all of these things? Was it just like, I think this is healthy and I should try that to lose weight? Or it's like, I heard this helps to get the weight off fast, I'm going to try this thing.
I think I tried like everybody else, tried to lose the weight fast. But that wasn't fun, because you're hungry all the time. Even though you eat soup every time you're hungry.
I don't think soup is filling, but not all the time.
No.
Eventually you want some real food.
Yeah, and it's boring. No.
Yeah.
No. And even the Maker's Diet, you do it and there's food restriction.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, and then you had more food, but No.
Yeah. I remember your little container of almonds, your little container of like crackers, and you'd make your lunch to go to work, and you'd bring your little colored containers with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy now because, again, is this the first time that you've lost that much weight and you've been able to stay fit through all the different things that you've tried throughout your life?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I remember having that conversation with you when I started Fit Vegan. I was like, I know I can help you, but you need to go vegan because you weren't vegan initially.
No.
All right. So how was that for you? I was like, I'm gonna help you, but you have to go plant-based because I'm not gonna include animal products in the meal plan.
No, I know. I think a couple of years ago you talked about it, and your dad and I did it for a month. We went vegan for a month.
Yeah, that was way before Fit Vegan existed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we did it. But after a month, it got, okay, well, my husband really likes his meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was complaining about going to the bathroom too often. He's like, I don't have time to go to the bathroom that much.
Yeah. And you just go to your regular old habits.
Yeah.
So we started to eat meat again. And we were living on a farm too. So we raised our chickens and...
Yeah, you had the eggs, you had the meat, yeah, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
What was there any like apprehension or fear in going vegan because of like how we grew up on the farm, right? Like I said, we killed our own chicken every year for meat. We had eggs, we had all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you saying that you were going to go vegan to do this weight loss, was there any like, again, apprehension of, you know, with dad or with family members when you go to gatherings and all that? Like, did that cross your mind?
I would say no, because I had an idea because I did it for a month.
Yeah.
So did it full time? No, I think no. I did my program. I didn't force my husband to do it. It was my choice to do it.
Yeah.
And the reason I choose to do it, when you're sitting down like this and you have your belly going over your belt, I hated it.
Yeah.
I just hated it. So going through, no, I did it for me. So I did my own meals and I did your dad's meal. But that was for me. I didn't force anybody to follow me in this.
Yeah, which we'll talk about cooking in the house a little bit later on. But so when you started and you transitioned to veganism, obviously I do remember when you and dad tried to go vegan for 30 days and you guys found your own recipes. Like again, Fit Vegan wasn't built. There was no structure to it. So it's not like I could provide you guys a meal plan or whatever it may be. No. But now coming in and having a meal plan, having a training plan to kind of respect, how was it for you to have that structure in eating plant-based to kind of, you know, transition to eating that way?
It's way much easier.
You don't have to find all in the recipe books.
Also the recipe, and sometimes the recipes you don't have the calories or the protein intake. So I would calculate everything. Okay, this amount of this, that's how much calories and fat and carbs and protein. So it's all, you have your meal plan. It's the amount of calories, and you just do it. You just do the recipes, and you know that you're fine for the whole day.
Talking about like calories and kind of tracking. Do you know what's the lowest you've ever went? Like not with us, but when you did keto or makers or whatever.
Oh my God, I have no idea.
No, I'd be curious to know that.
Maybe 1,200, maybe.
Oh wow, yeah, that's not a lot of food.
Maybe that's why I was hungry all the time.
Yeah, huh? Yeah, you cut your food intake in half. Wonder what happens. Well, because when you finish your reverse diet at the end, you're eating about like 2,300 calories roughly.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, so almost double what you're eating at the end.
Yeah.
So how was it for you to take the journey slowly? Because when I record the podcast with members and when I tell people about the program, I'm like, I'm just going to give you the unsexy, truthful answer of like, this is literally how long it's going to take you. And for people, it's double, triple, 4 times longer than what their brain wants it to be. Because I think they're in the same mindset as you before, which was like, I just want the weight off like yesterday, right? Yeah. Like I just want to like start this thing and then to wait for it to melt off. Yeah. But to accept that it was a longer timeline, because it took you like 8 to 9 months to lose because you lost like 53 or 54 pounds, something like that, right? Total. Yeah. So to accept that it was going to be a longer timeline, how did you mentally like accept that? So because it wasn't like a promise of like makers or Atkins or whatever of like, hey, yeah, we'll drop this in the next 8 weeks and then you're done forever.
Well, like they said, you're done forever, but you gain the weight back because you start eating the way you were eating before. You gain all your weight back.
Yeah.
But with this process, you never told me you're going to lose those 50 pounds in 4 or 5 months. You never told me that.
Yeah.
You're just, okay, follow the plan and
You'll get there.
you'll get there. And every week you weigh yourself and you take those pictures and you see the result. Because even now, sometimes I look at myself and I go back on the app and I look at the first picture I had, and you can see how...
You're, like, respectfully, you were ballooned up. Like
I was.
Yeah, you're very ballooned up.
Yeah, I was. But it's kind of nice to see that every week, maybe you don't lose the weight, but your body's transformation is doing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice to see, but slowly it's come, okay, my weight went down, and see the picture. It's like, oh yeah, look at bigger shoulder, or the waist slimming down, or less balloon, like you said.
Yeah. Well, like from your first picture to your last photo, there's a significant difference in your stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never want to go back to where I was before. And I will never go back to that.
Well, like I said, you're over 4.5 years since you started at this point, because Fit Vegan's been around for longer than that now, and you kind of started within the first few weeks or so of me starting this, which is crazy to think that's been over 4.5 years of
it is.
This. It's wild. The podcast has evolved tremendously since that time. So yeah, like how did you? I think it's more the mental aspect I want to know. Like, how did you mentally navigate the weight coming off slowly versus seeing, like, 4 or 5 pound chunks come off at a time on a weekly basis? Because some people, they're like, it didn't drop 5 pounds this week. This doesn't work. I don't want to do this.
No, because you told me that 1 pound is 3,500 calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly.
So if you have a deficit, it takes a long time to lose those 3,500 pounds.
Yeah.
Calories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes a long time. So slowly, I think I did well, because you see your transformation, you see the weight come off slowly. But when you want the weight to drop off quickly, it's not sustainable and it doesn't last.
Yeah.
So I said, might as well stick to that plan and see how it goes.
Did you have, I know the answer to this one. Did you have weeks where the weight didn't move or it went up a little bit?
Yes.
How did you handle those weeks? Was it because maybe you weren't necessarily as on track with nutrition, or you missed some training, or maybe you were compliant with the whole thing and the weight stayed the same or went up? Like, how did you handle those weeks?
Well, I would say that I was really compliant. I did.
Yeah. You're probably the closest person in terms of compliance to like being almost 100%.
Yeah. So I did every training in the plan, followed everything. Even for my birthday, the birthday cake would fit in the calories.
Yeah, like I said, you can have cake. You just got to make it fit.
Yeah, exactly. But no, even though the weight stayed the same, because sometimes you give just too much importance to the number on the scale.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that maybe you had too much salt the day before, so you have water retention, or you just something happened. You have your period or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life happens.
Yeah, and then so the weight stayed. So did you have more peace when, like, you saw the weight stay the same or potentially go up on some weeks? Because you're like, oh, well, there's all these factors that are in play. It's not because I did a bad job or my body doesn't want to lose weight.
No, because the weight loss is not only nutrition and training. It's a mindset too.
Yeah.
You have to talk to yourself, and how can I say? You're always learning new things.
Yeah.
That helps you going through that process.
Yeah. Was there, because how old were you when you started the program? Like 56, right?
Yeah.
55?
55.
Yeah, 55 when you started. Yeah. Usually, in the program, there's a lot of women that are between 50 and 80. So the average, like, about 64. And they come to the program, they're like, I can't lose weight because of my age, because of perimenopause, because of menopause. And they think that their body is just completely rejected the idea of ever losing weight. Did you have any thought of that before you started? It's like, it's because of my age. That's why I can't lose the weight.
I thought it was about menopause.
Yeah.
All the hormone changes.
Yeah.
I thought it was about it, because I started to lose the weight before, went to the gym. I was training here, then at the gym. Lost some weight, not quickly, but at least I was training.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, maybe that's why I'm getting older and doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah. So when you started to stick to basically the meal plan, the training plan we gave you, how quickly did that belief go away?
Oh, really quickly. Yeah. And I love training. I love weight training.
Yeah.
Because I was a volleyball and a basketball player before in high school.
Yeah.
High school and college. So I like training. And I know that in the family, my brother used to train a little bit too, but my mom did not believe in that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So
grandma was pretty skinny.
she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
She won't be like you have big biceps
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
gonna be like 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be like my mom in some ways, but not for the training. I want to continue training.
Yeah.
That's part of my lifestyle now.
Yeah. Well, on your mom's side, you live for years. You live for a long time.
Yeah.
Like
my
so your grandma, my great grandmother.
103.
Yeah, and then grandma, which is your
89.
mom, 89. Yeah, so we live for a long time
Yeah.
on that side. On the dad side, it's pretty short. So hopefully, I kind of get the balance of both of them.
Yeah.
I've already been vegan for a decade, so I'm going
Yeah.
on the long side at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole hormone thing, I feel like every time that kind of women come into the program and bring up that point, I'm like, nutrition, training, if you do actually do it right, like you're actually going to lose weight. And then we have like hundreds of proof of that. And you're one of the original ones to be like, yeah, age is just a number to a certain extent. And if you just are able to stick to nutrition, at least like 90% and do the exercise, like your body has no choice but to transform, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a survival mechanism. Survival mechanism will outweigh your hormones any day of the week. All right.
Yeah.
So as you're going through the journey, you mentioned we did a fat loss and then did a reverse dieting and then a fat loss again and reverse dieted you out of that. So for reverse dieting, obviously I think the majority of people know what that is. If it's not, there's another podcast I did that people can go listen to. But how was it for you to go through reverse dieting? You lost a bunch of weight and then we're like, we're going to make you eat more food, but you're not going to put weight back on. How is that mentally for you to go through that?
It was great because I continued to lose weight even though I was reverse dieting.
Oh, there you go. I said it's 80% of the time people stay the same weight. 10% of the time people lose a little bit of weight, and 10% of the time some people put on like a pound or two.
Okay.
So you were in like the 10% that like lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah. And it's nice to have more food to eat too.
Yeah. What are the changes that you saw as you were starting to increase your food intake to speed your metabolism back up?
Well, I had energy, but I think I had more energy with more food. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what that was saying? You were dancing when you were working out?
I'm always dancing when I work out.
Yeah. He's like, if you have too much energy, you're like, not to say annoying, but you have a lot of energy basically.
I dance or do jumping jack or whatever because I liked aerobic dance.
Yeah.
I like that. So whatever the music is playing, I just do jumping jack. And
I saw
about.
that at Mikhail's wedding. You and Dad were dancing.
Oh, yeah.
The whole night. Yeah.
Your dad too.
Yeah. Well, you guys are great dancers. It's not my jam.
No, we saw that.
Ivy would like that for me to dance well. I'll take classes with her.
Okay.
At one point, when we get back to LA, we'll take classes.
Okay.
And so you lost a weight, reverse diet, and then lost some more weight. That ended up being at like the 53-pound mark. All right. Then reverse dieted one last time to kind of speed up your metabolism after. And that's when you at the peak, you're eating about like 2,300 calories to maintain your 53-pound fat loss. All right. So that was 3.5 years ago?
About, yeah.
Roughly since you were done?
3 years, yeah.
Yeah. So how has life been since then? Right. Because a lot of people taking on the challenge and all the work of, hey, I have to meal prep, I have to prepare my food, I have to start exercising, when maybe to some people it's newer, they're kind of changing their lifestyle to be able to do the program to lose the weight. And then they go like, but what happens after you're done the program? So how did you balance being able to live life? Because you and Dad went on vacations, you went to some weddings. You're still enjoying life. You're not like stuck in your kitchen obsessing over your macros every single day where you're not going to go out and do fun stuff. So how did you navigate being post program and balancing life while being able to stay fit over 3 years after you lost the weight?
Yeah, but I still continue to watch what I eat. Always plant-based.
Yeah.
The meat
as you
is
should,
as I should, but because I'm still cooking for your dad, so I still cook some meat and shrimp for him. But no, never went back to that. You graduated for the program now.
Yeah.
So you have to with everything that I have learned with the program, I have to put it in practice. So I still do recipes from the program,
Yeah.
but now I do have my own recipes.
Which we're going to cook later.
Yes, that's my favorite recipe that we're going to do. So we have my favorite recipes that I do. But when I go on a trip, I do the best I can with depending where we go.
Yeah.
Like the last trip was in Alberta.
Yeah.
We kind of beef province.
Yeah. It's not very vegan friendly.
Never, but I found some options.
Yeah.
So see if I'm not vegan, I'm going to be vegetarian.
Yeah.
Kind of navigate through that. But yeah, I do the best I can. But like I said, I have my own recipes and I cook for your dad and he eats what I cook.
Yeah. What would you say that your standards have changed as to how much you're willing to allow yourself to put on as weight? So what I mean by that is some people, let's just say they weigh 184 pounds or 83 pounds when you started the program.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll lose some weight, whatever crazy method they're going to use, and then they don't do reverse dieting. They don't like continuous lifestyle after. So then as the weights start to creep back up, their standard is 183 pounds. So just say they go down to like 130 like you did.
Mm-hmm.
And then their weights are from 130, they go up to like back to 183. And then they go like, oh, maybe I should go back to eating healthy and exercising. So like they let all of this weight come back up before their internal standards kind of kick in of like, oh, I'm heading in the wrong direction. Right. And so for you, obviously your standards have changed because you've not let yourself go back up to 183 pounds. So yeah, would you say that your standards have changed and you're quicker to catch yourself? Like if you go on a trip and you kind of go overboard a little bit and then you come back, you're like, well, we'll just get back at it. Is that kind of what happens for you?
Yes. Like you said, win the next meal. Like I know that I know how many calories I should eat. And sometimes I eat more calories.
Yeah, life happens. I've been eating more calories since you've been cooking since I've been here. So
yeah, one dessert is done again. Okay, what else do we make? But but I still weigh myself every week.
Yeah.
I used to go back, an old habit. I would weigh myself every day. Yeah. But that's not a good thing. So every week, once a week.
It's tough emotionally.
It is tough. So sometimes I know I have gained muscle. I'm a little bit heavier. I think I have 10 pounds or 14 pounds extra.
But you did a bulking phase at one point too, so.
That too. But that's about my limit.
Yeah.
My next goal is for my 60th birthday. I want to go back to the weight I was the first time originally.
Well, you might be heavier because you have more muscle now.
I have more muscle.
Yeah. So you might actually be at maybe 135 or 137 because you have more muscle. So that weighs a lot more.
I know I have a lot of muscle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can lift those weights.
Yeah. What's an exercise that when you first started, you're like, man, this is really hard. And now you're like, oh, I can actually do all of this weight.
Oh my God. The deadlift?
What did you start with?
Oh, maybe, I don't. That's a long time ago. Maybe 50, 60 pounds, the deadlift.
How much you do now?
110.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just had to change a little bit because I had some back problem that I end up in the hospital. But I know that now the L5 and S1 are a problem. So I don't go as low.
Yeah.
But still I went back. It was my PR.
Yeah.
That's what I told the doctor.
Yeah.
My PR, but he said, well, you're here. Doesn't matter. That's my PR.
Well, did it happen while you were doing your PR?
It did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So when we do the workout, we'll go over your form again.
Okay. But
the thing is, so for a fact, and I'll kind of sit on video because I did a training on this, but when you put a 45-pound plate on each side, it raises the bar to the standard height of a deadlift, right?
Okay.
And so that's 135 pounds. Right. And so obviously if you did 110, it means that you had, and I know the weights you guys have here, it means that you grabbed smaller plates. You probably had like a 25 on and like a 5 on each side or something like that. Right. So 25 is a smaller plate. So it brings the bar lower. So you're forced to start lower on your deadlift, which is when some injury can occur because you have to start from so much lower. So you have to put like 25 or 45-pound plates under it to raise it to the natural height. So you don't have to go as low. Because if you start lower, it's called a deficit deadlift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what power lifters do, train sometimes to get better at like lifting it off the ground. It trains the bottom part of it.
Oh, okay.
And then like a rack pull is the thing that racks like the top part of the deadlift, like the locking part. So yeah, if you want a safe deadlift, you have to bring the bar to like standard height. So put plates under it. If you don't, because the big bumper plates are like 10 pounds, but they're the size of a 45 because they raise the bar naturally.
Okay.
To the right height. So
yeah, but now I use a squat rack and there's bars that I can adjust at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's what I do now.
Yeah. Should be like, not say mid shin height, but roughly when you're doing the deadlift. Yeah. We'll do some deadlift together.
Okay.
We'll beat your PR. I'll show you how to do it properly.
Okay.
We'll do your body weight in deadlift.
Oh, okay.
Every client that I've trained with so far this year, we've pretty much done a body weight deadlift for them.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think it was doable, but obviously like I make them warm up like the glutes, the hips and everything, make sure everything is firing properly and then go for it.
With the animal walks.
Yeah. But animal flows, glute bridges, there's there's a lot. We'll film a workout video while I'm here because I still have another few weeks. Yeah. So yeah, any like strategies or piece of advice for people that are about to leave the program? Like, do you have any rules that you've either created for yourself or that you've kept from the program to make sure that you stay fit and healthy now being outside of the program, now having graduated?
Yeah, I can just follow what I have learned through the process. I just continue doing the same things.
So what are those things?
I always, like in the program, you have the breakfast, the snacks, you have your lunch, snacks, and dinner. I always kept that. If I don't have take a snack, no.
Yeah.
My stomach is so hungry. And I just continue do the workouts. I just continue like I was still in the program and
Yeah. And then when you go on, whenever you do go off track or you want to enjoy yourself, what are the rules that you follow then?
Like tonight we're going to the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I'll take
aunts and uncles. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take maybe less calories during the day to have more calories for my dinner. I'll take maybe more protein too in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to be a vegan restaurant, but yeah, that just keep more calories for my dinner.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah. I feel like I know the answer to this question because, or else, if the answer was no, you would weigh 180 plus pounds. Mm-hmm. Has this been sustainable for you post program?
Yes, it has been. Yes. And like I said, I never want to go back there.
Yeah.
No. And I will never.
Yeah.
No.
How can you explain to people? Because obviously when it comes from me, like I created Fit Vegan Coaching, so people will say that I'm biased to the whole thing. But it is very simple. Mm-hmm. Like all the principles that I teach, they're so simple. The sayings, the rules for how to navigate traveling, staying on track, or if you go off track, how to get back on track, to work out. Like everything is so simple that people don't think that it would actually work. Can you like tell people? I don't know what I'm trying to ask you, but like why, so they could understand in their head that like it is literally that simple. We just need to do it.
Yeah. Because I think people think it's simple. I'll just take pills or take, I don't remember the name, but pills to cut your appetite. And
like GLP-1s, like Ozempic or fat burners.
Fat burner, stuff like that. Because I tried that too, but it doesn't work.
The fat burners?
Yeah, at one point I tried it. Well, before the program. But yeah, they think that the shorter way is going to be the better. But taking that way, eating whole food, plant-based, and you eat a lot of food and you still lose the weight, I think that's a better option.
Yeah.
Why starve yourself when you can eat a lot of plants and good protein and you lose the weight? You just have to rethink. You have to rewire your brain. It's not a quick option. It's take the long option, and this is the last one that you will take.
Yeah.
Because it's for life.
How does it feel to not have any restriction? And what I mean by that is, like, when you're doing Atkins, you have to watch carbs. When you're doing makers, I know there was like some type of restriction of food you can eat. When you're doing the soup and the cracker thing, obviously there's a ton of limitation as what you can eat on there.
Yeah.
But to just know that you can eat whole food plant-based, you can eat variety, you just have certain proportions and quantities that you need to watch out for. Like, how does it feel to not have to demonize certain foods or certain food groups?
Yeah, because you have no restriction. So you eat what you want. And even I would take recipes that there's meat in it and I just replace it.
Yeah.
And there's so many recipes. I have so many emails. I go to Instagram and I follow those ladies.
Yeah.
And
Like Carly, Plant You.
Carly, Plant You. It doesn't taste like chicken with Sam Turbo. It's a plant-based on a budget with Tony.
Well, I'm actually going to be recording on her show.
Oh, yeah.
When I come back to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's different ladies that I follow.
Yeah.
And they have so many good recipes and I just...
Yeah.
Later I'll do it.
Damn, you just come to a vegan expo because I know all those people. You can just meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just come to, I know all of them. So yeah, you can just come and meet them to a vegan expo. Next one that I speak at, you guys should come.
Okay.
Yeah. Or on the vegan cruise. I don't know if they're going to be there though, but there's going to be a lot of cool people on the vegan cruise.
Yeah. But I follow those ladies and yeah. I mean, you just try different things. But the thing that I personally choose is recipes with not that many ingredients. If the list is too long, usually I don't do it. I like simple and tasty recipes.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. There's was it Crossroads Kitchen in LA? We went there together, right? When you guys went there? Oh, we went to a vegan sushi spot. We didn't go to Crossroads. So Crossroads is a cookbook. And man, you open this thing and it's like a page and a half long of ingredients.
Yeah, you gave me a cookbook.
Yeah. Which one? The AJ one? Chef AJ?
And the Crossroad too.
Oh, and the Crossroads one. Yeah, so if you open that one, like there's a page and a half of ingredients and it's like super hard and complex. It tastes great, but it's very hard to make. Yeah. Yeah, so it just, in general, any piece of advice for people post program, because there's people doing post weird shit fat loss that like haven't learned anything, right? Because you're doing makers or freaking eating soup and crackers, you didn't really learn any new skill or any new way of living or eating that you can keep after. Now that you've done it properly, which is, I think is proper because I built it that way for a reason, and 800 plus people benefited from that. So obviously I think there's a proper way you actually learn something throughout it. Like, what are a piece of advice that you would give to people after once they've learned the proper way of doing it?
Well, I think that with everything that you have learned, with all the group calls, even though you're not part of it, you can always listen to the replay.
Yeah, if you can't make it live.
Yeah, exactly. So everything that you have learned, I think you're well equipped after that to continue.
Yeah.
You learn that you can eat every plant that you like, every recipes. If you don't like with too much oil, you just cut the oil and put vegetable broth instead.
Yeah. You
can always do substitute, but yeah, I think with everything that your programs offer, we're well prepared to go after that.
And this one's more like a funny question, but how did it feel to have your son built this process that helped you lose the weight? Okay, you've been at it for a while to try to lose the weight, right? Like, so how does it feel that I was just like, Mom, I can solve all your problems. You should just listen to your son.
Yeah, that's kind of different because when you're younger, you listen to your parents.
Yeah.
And now as a parent, I listen to my son. I thought, okay, that's different. That's fun. But yeah, you did an amazing job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And you're helping so many people.
Yeah. Were you weirded out at first that I was like, do all of these things? And I was, because frankly, a lot of the psychological things that you've shared, the mindset shit, this is all stuff that I've taught you in the program because it's not stuff you had before.
No.
Yeah. So how does that feel?
Well, I'm really glad that you taught me that.
Yeah, because when I talk with Dad, I think he still has a harder time with like me teaching him stuff. And I'm like, Dad, we've had like over 60 doctors in the program. Like, we've taught them how to do this. They're passing this off to the patients. Like, and he's like, nah. Yeah. I know he's getting more open to it.
Yeah.
But I think it's the fact that like I'm the one teaching it that he's like, you're my son. I don't know. I don't know if I should listen. I was like, but some doctors listen to me. I was like, you know, we're good at what we do. So
yeah. And I listen to your podcasts and YouTube and I try not to miss one, but at the beginning you did so many. But
we do 3 a week now.
Yeah,
like
3 a week.
2 podcasts and then an extra one on YouTube.
Yeah, so when I'm working, I listen to you.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that's what's cool about coming back to Canada. Like, I was just hanging out with Jeremy and Isabel yesterday, and they both like listen to the podcast. I was talking to other people here that I grew up with, like go to school, and they listen to it. I was like, oh man, I love the show. Or like when you interview this doctor and blah blah blah. And I was like, man, people from school listen to my podcast. This is crazy. Yeah. What a wild life. What a wild journey this has been.
Yeah.
To get to this place.
Yeah. And even at the gym, when your dad used to train there at the Nautilus,
yeah,
you would talking to Marty Waits and said, this guy is cool. I follow online. Said, who's that? The Lucky Lifestyle. I go, well, that's my son.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the old branding.
Yeah, the old branding, the Lucky. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
See,
I should try to reach out to Marty.
Yeah. So, hey, you know him. That's my son.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. It's cool to come back.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of visit everyone. Yeah. So just to kind of wrap up this episode, like any last piece of advice you'd like to pass off to people that were in your shoes before, that have the mindset of, I want the weight off yesterday. I've tried whatever latest trend. Like, to be fair, I feel like now it's weirder than back in the day, because back in the day, I'm sure people did some weird shit to lose weight, but it was like Maker's Diet. It was Atkins. It was like the whole P90X shit. It was like, it wasn't necessarily healthy, but it was still healthier than now. Now everyone's injecting themselves with different types of hormones to not be hungry, right? I spoke to a couple that was injecting themselves with, like, is it HCG or something? When women are pregnant, that they have like nausea, they produce that hormones, and apparently it cuts your appetite. So they were injecting themselves with that to not be hungry and like undereat a lot. I was like, man, I feel like eating fruits and bananas and oatmeal is a lot simpler than paying for these injections and, eating 500 calories a day. I just feel like eating plants and exercising is such a easier, less painful path if you're just willing to be a little bit more patient. So yeah, any piece of advice for that old version of you that might be someone's current version that's listening to the podcast?
Yeah, because sometimes I think that you're thinking that I'm going to eat less calories and I'm going to lose the weight. But like you said at one point, that your body has to, not to adjust, but it's survival mode.
Yeah.
So if you eat less, it goes in survival mode. So it grab and it stick to everything that you have. So you won't lose the weight. Yeah. And you do ton of cardio and it doesn't work. So when you start the program and you're eating that much food, 2,000 calories, said, oh my God, I won't lose the weight eating all that food. But you do.
Yeah.
Because your body is thanking you that you feed him the right food.
Yeah.
The right nutrients.
Yeah.
So don't think about losing the weight fast. Because everybody tried that and it doesn't work. And it doesn't last because you gain the weight after.
Yeah.
Just go slowly, learn the right way, and this is the last time that you're going to do it because you know what to do after.
Yeah. I feel like as you were sharing that, I was like, oh shit, that is like the main point, right? I know you know this, but people listening, I think they know this too. I love philosophy. I love analogies, and I like to conceptualize things, and that's how like Win the Next Meal and all of these things kind of came about. But I was trying to pinpoint like the one thing that if we can like switch that flip in people's head would cause them to like do the right thing or like take on the right journey or kind of do it properly. And what you just said about if you can accept to not want to lose the weight slowly. I feel like if I can pinpoint to one thing, if you can flip the switch in people's head of like, I'm going to switch from wanting to lose it fast to I'm okay with losing it slow. If you can just like switch that specific flip, it'll change the approach you're going to take. Because if you're not in a rush, you're not going to use as drastic of methods, right? Like you're not going to cut corners basically. Yeah. I feel like that's the one. I think like that's the pinpoint. If you change that one thing, like the mentality would shift and it would cause you to take a very different level of action to lose the weight. Yeah. And I wish everyone could experiment running a half marathon or a marathon, because they say like life is not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? Realistically, it's not even a marathon, it's an ultra marathon that's like 500 freaking miles long. Like it's so long. Again, it never ends. It's a race that never ends.
Okay.
But I wish everyone can experiment like running a half marathon and trying to sprint the whole freaking thing. You can't. Like you'll gas out after like a few minutes, right? People don't understand. They think that running fast is sprinting. Like if you run 100 meters as fast as you can, that's a sprint. Maintain that pace for a half marathon or a marathon. Can't do it. No one can do it. Physiologically, it's impossible, right? Because if you're giving your all in that 100 meters, there's no way you can maintain that pace for half a marathon or a full marathon. For the people listening that have done races, they know.
Exactly.
They know the pain of trying to run this freaking thing. But no, I appreciate you sharing that because I think that is like the main point. If people can just flip that one thing, I'm going to switch from trying to losing the weight fast to being okay with losing it slow. I feel like people are going to be a lot more chill about it. They'll be so much less restrictive. They're less likely to starve themselves. They're less likely to over-exercise. They're less likely to beat themselves up when they make a mistake. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Just had a little moment of epiphany there.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, any last words you'd like to pass off to the listeners? Because some of them are members, some of them are past members, some of them are new members.
Yeah. Well, I would say, I know that sometimes you're having kids and family and you're all busy, but if you don't take care of yourself, they will have to take care of you because at one point you'll be sick and won't be able to function.
Yeah.
So thinking about you, because I'm 59 right now, but I want to live till past my mom.
120.
120, okay. So I don't want to be healthy. I don't want to be sick on that way. So take care of yourself. Go for the program. You'll learn so many good things. You'll meet great people. The tribe is great. And you have, in the app, you have the ebooks, all the information to help you, the group calls. Now, everybody is there to support you. So take care of yourself.
Well, I'm very proud of you for taking all the actions that you took because it's not an easy journey as much as we've painted it as like they are simple steps. They are challenging steps to take. So I'm very happy that I was able to be a part of your journey of helping you lose all that weight because after like Jen got cancer and all that, I was like, man, I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help Dad. I want to be able to help like everyone that I come across, like not end up in that position. And so I'm happy that you went plant-based and that you lost all the weight. And I know that you're in a much healthier position. Actually, so much, just to kind of add a tangent, so much so that your insurance got cheaper, right? I think you were telling me that, like it was like your health insurance, whatever, with Dad. Yes. Yours got cheaper because your results were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how it is in Quebec, right? They make you do like a bunch of tests and blood work and then...
Yeah, because we had to renew, because we had it for 10 years and we had to renew. So they go through blood tests and urine sample and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yours was cheaper.
Because I was...
Healthier. But you got 10 years older, which according to society should have been more expensive because you should be sicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, save money being fit.
Yeah. I don't take any medication, only supplements.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, Mom, thank you very much for taking the time to record with me. Everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, if you're on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want me to do another podcast with my mom, let me know what questions you would have for her. If you're listening on audio, just be sure to subscribe and follow the channel so you can be notified when new videos come out. If you're interested in working with us, there's a link down below where you can book your free application call. If you want to end the year strong and look like my mom next year in 2025, then just book your free application call below. Everyone, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.